Hi of the daily broadcast. Here we're live to remembering. Today is with us Michael. Michael, hi. I can say for you that you are like man, person who's like self awareness to understanding and to remembering most of the things like through your personal way. Michael, hi.
Hi, nice to meet you, Andrew, and nice to be on the show. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Michael. I follow you with sometimes on your Facebook, and I'm so passionate about the Schumann frequency. Like would like to explain like more to the public, like Schumann frequency, what it is, how it's work, or like from your perspective, how you will find like benefits and what is the graph which they show to people and how can have like daily benefits and they can include like understanding better the Schumann frequency in the life.
Well, I can certainly give it a shot. And see, I've been making posts about the Schumann resonance for about I don't know 5 or 6 years now, and I usually I don't know all of the technical details of what the Schumann resonance is. I just see the picture with the lines on it, and the discoloration, and the intensity, and the time, that kind of stuff. But I don't know all the technical details of what the different frequencies mean. I just know how it makes me feel. All right, and so I'll take a snapshot. Like I have every day, I'll take a snapshot of the Schumann resonance. Then I'll
Mhm.
sit back and I'll reflect back over the last 24 hours of my life. Okay, and see what's changed about my perception on certain topics. That may have bugged me the day before, or and when I say bugged me, meaning they caught my interest, not necessarily good or bad. It's just, they caught my interest. And then I process all of that information on my own side of what I personally went through, and I share that. But when I share it, it's in a context of I know that there are other people out there who have felt these things and they just don't know the word um, on how to express it, I guess. Does that make sense? And so, I'll put it out there. And it's more like a personal journal for me. Um, you know, my whole social media experience thus far is on Facebook. I mean, I have a lot of different accounts, but I don't use them like I've used Facebook. So, um, but yeah, I I write it, and then I have a visual picture of what the emotion looks like, and that um, really helps my brain. My eyes don't necessarily understand, but my brain knows what I'm looking at, and I just trust that my brain is processing it correctly. And you know, you learn to be aware of subtle changes when you check in every day, um, like I do, and when something is changing, we want to be more aware, of why and how can we fix it or keep it happening or help it happen if that's what we want. So, but that's how I interpret the Schumann resonance. I understand it to be, um, you know, the echo of the planet, and the people on the planet are the filters of that energy that we can see that's presented on the graph, you know. And so, what's left over is the collective vibration or energy of the planet. And so it's pretty easy for me as a remote viewer to look back, um, in my 24 hours and notice the subtle differences. I don't have to go searching for them. I just know now. But it wasn't always that way. Um, is that what you were looking for, needing? Well, did we lose you? Knock knock. Is anybody home? Well, I'm hoping that he's going to return. Um, not sure where he went, but I'll continue to talk about. Let's say, I want to talk about self-awareness. Okay, noticing the subtle changes, and when we make these time frames where you check in with yourself for the subtle changes and things, um, you can relate them to particular events and particular people and particular situations, and that lets you um, decide if you want to do that the next day instead of the next month or you know 6 months or a year, and it really keeps you in the moment, um, and balanced every day. The other part is to pay attention to your cravings. You know, there's a reason why you got to get into the whole um, being self-aware of your different emotions and different people and different energies you put yourself around. I'm fortunate enough where people don't, where I don't have to work. Okay, that also came at a great cost. You know, being an American soldier, I went to war in Iraq twice. You know, um, my marriage fell apart. I grew up. A lot of things happened between my retirement and my military service and today. And part of that is growing up and becoming emotionally aware. You know, and the beginning step, excuse me, is becoming physically aware. Okay, of the emotions because they'll cause you the discomfort, and then when you get the discomfort, you don't have to wait until it's uh, a festering sore from a splinter from a pissed off rose bush or something. Um, but it's it's all about making the choice every day to decide what you're going to do. And when you can do that, and you make sense of your life, and you have a partner who's working with you, and we've lived a life of having kids. We raised 8 children together. You know, um, there's we understand the workload and the workhorse of a working family. You know, we understand that kind of stuff. And it's not always easy to be able to sit down and take the time to actually try to
Yeah.
figure out and solve some problems. We're too busy and distracted. At least here in America, I'm pretty sure it's in many places. And that 5 minutes of self-awareness, or for me it's usually about 3 to 4 hours, sometimes even longer. um, you know Early morning, I'm always an early riser, and I just do my check-in that way. And then once you start getting into that physical side of it, then you start checking on the emotional side of it, and you start going back and forth into your understanding until you find the perfect
Yeah.
balance for you. you know there's really no set, I don't know what the word is here. There's no set model, I
Yeah.
guess, for it.
How you mean? Yeah. Okay.
It's just finding balance for you because everybody's
Yeah.
life is different, you know, and every decision that they've ever made in their entire existence has led them to be right here in this moment. So it can't be entirely bad if we're sitting here talking about it, you know. And a lot of people get into that dread feeling and they try to blame human resonance of, I feel that way. And part of that is, yeah, we're feeling a collective energy from the people, but it's not coming from the planet, you know.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, people like to hide behind their spirituality a lot, and then as of late, they, oh, we need something to blame, and it's not going to be, uh, and to be responsible. It can be the Schumann resonance's fault, and that kind of thing. And I call that jumping on the bandwagon there because it's faceless. It's pretty much harmless. Nobody's getting hurt except for you know really the individual who's denying themselves that truth of dealing with whatever emotional trauma that they might be having held in their body because that's what hurts, you know,
Yeah.
and and that's what these ascension symptoms are when it comes to um, people blending the Schumann resonance with their spirituality and oh, all this stuff is happening. Well, yes, it is, but understand why, and it doesn't have to keep happening. You know, that's a lot like Mercury going Gatorade, as I call it. You know, people use that as an excuse to be assholes, and instead of dealing with it, they know or they brace for it, and then they attract assholes to them. you know, and so they're really just hurting themselves in the the sense of their own self-awareness. So did I answer your question?
Yes, this is perfect, perfect explanation. And sorry because you lose me for
I
the
lost
second. It was
your
like
audio.
some cut here. I don't know what's happened, but yeah, I'm happy to use this platform because you are still live and I can just
No
join you back
audio.
because you don't hear me. Do you hear me now? You can hear me?
They have all sorts of problems with this stuff today, aren't they?
Okay, can you hear me now? Michael. Okay, Michael, can you hear me? Hello?
Still nothing, man. Do I need to leave and come back
Okay.
in?
Yeah, let's try again.
All right.